You're listening to the Afro Chi Podcast, a show for my fellow Black female energy healers and the everyday woman who wants to heal her energy in a creative and holistic way. You'll hear from Black female healers who share their knowledge, gifts, and experiences and enlighten you on how to tap into your powerful Black energy to get the results you need to live an energetically free life. If you're ready to become unstuck, find freedom and peace energetically, stay tuned. I'm your host, Kiera Flipping. Okay, guys, today we will be discussing a very interesting topic. Today we will be talking about Tantra Energy. Our guest today is the owner of Khepera Mindbody and offers intuitive massage, Reiki, prana energy, and touch, also known as Tantra. Our guest can be found on social media at Khepera_Mindbody or on her website at KheperaMindbody.com. You can also check her out on her podcast as well. I am so happy to have the pleasure of speaking with the owner of Khepera Mindbody, Miss Nia. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. So I'm so excited. I feel like this is going to be such a interesting topic. As you know, our podcast talks a lot about energy work and just different ways for Black women to heal their energy. So I was so excited to have you on when I saw that you specialize in Tantra energy. So for those who do not know, I know a lot of people are probably going to Google it, but for those who do not know, can you just start off with just telling us a little bit about what Tantra energy is?
Okay, so Tantra energy is such a divine topic because it's defined in so many cultures in different ways, and I'm intrigued by how so many people define it. But the main thing with tantric energy work is that Tantra is about the unity of the divine masculine and the divine feminine within all of us. So anything that has to do with Tantra is about going to the highest version of yourself by combining those two aspects, the divine, feminine, and masculine. As we know, or most of us know, that we all have masculine and feminine polarities within us. And once we combine those and have them balanced, it takes you to your higher self.
And you know, I don't know if a lot of people are actually aware of that whether we identify as male or female, we all men carry feminine energy and masculine, and women also carry feminine energy and masculine energy. So I'm not sure if a lot of people know that or really understand what that means. So in your explanation, are you saying when you combine both the feminine and masculine, you get to that Tantra state? Did I understand that right? Okay.
Yes, it's a tantric energy state. Now, it brings you to a very blissful state within yourself. And that's the point, you know, when you think about uniting both aspects of yourself and being balanced in a very healthy spiritual way and getting to God, it's like at that point, it's like you don't need anything else. You are everything that you need within yourself. So anything else outside of that is just a bonus or an addition to that.
Okay.
So in that state, you are living a pleasure-filled life. You're living a life content with everything that you have because it's already here.
Okay. How can somebody even get there? Like, that's when I hear you saying like a state of bliss, like I'm like, oh, I want to go. Like, I want to be there. How does somebody like tap into that?
It's really about doing the work. You know, I don't know if some people have heard of shadow work or getting to the bottom of your traumas, your negative experiences, what you've programmed within you based on what you've been through. Because we have this programming. We have this deep programming. We all know the story of slavery, our ancestors. That's a programming that most of us still carry in some way. We automatically look to another race as superior to us. So those type of programs, the point of Tantra is to get to the bottom of those and release them so we can go back to our divine self because it's already within us. We just forgot it. It's awakening a DNA that's been asleep for a very long time from the things that our ancestors have been through. So how to get to that state is releasing those things, identifying the traits of the masculine energy and the traits of the feminine energy, and finding a way to balance those so that you are your complete self.
Wow. I think a lot of listeners are probably even going to be stuck on like the whole masculine and feminine, like, oh, I got both. And because I
Right.
got both, like I'm supposed to combine the two, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
in your service that you offer to others, like what does that look like? Like if somebody is listening to this and they're like, oh, wow, like I want to get to that state, like, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
be curious about what that work is going to look like for them. Could you explain that?
I'm actually glad that you asked that because, to be honest, when I started seeking this,
Mm-hmm.
you can't find it. It's like on the
Mm.
internet, you look up Tantra and all people talk about is sex.
Uh-huh.
Sex everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Sex this, sex that,
Yeah.
partnership, healthy sex life, better sex life. And it's just like, but what about the other aspects of it? Certain
Mm.
cultures don't even emphasize sex when it comes to Tantra.
Okay.
We define sex on a physical realm as a man and a woman coming together, or whatever your preference is, but a man and a woman coming together to balance that energy.
Got
So
you.
in other cultures, it's not about anything outside of you. It's about what's in you, uniting those two aspects of yourself to get to a certain aspect. So
Mm-hmm.
with tantric energy work, or tantric table work, what it looks like is similar to a Reiki session for the
Okay.
most part. Kind of a lot of
Mm-hmm.
hovering of the hands, but actually with our energy work, what we're doing is accessing different meridians around the body that activate that dormant kundalini energy within you.
Mm-hmm.
Kundalini energy is an energy that lies at the base of your spine, and that's actually the energy that helps to unite those two aspects of yourself. It goes
Okay.
up the spine, it literally spirals up the spine. This is
Mm-hmm.
what awakens you to who you truly are. So
Okay.
our job as a tantric practitioner is to use these meridians to activate this energy within you to do the work of releasing these energetic blockages that you may have from different traumas and different experiences that you've been through.
Hey Queens, isn't this such a great episode? Be sure to check out the Afro Chi Healers Directory, where you can find healers in your area offering similar services to the guests on today's podcast. If you are a healer, please be sure to join the directory so that Black women can locate your healing services and offerings. To join and view the directory, please visit afroqi.com. Okay, let's jump back into this episode.
Okay.
So with a tantra session, your body is awakening. There's a lot of shaking. There's a lot of moving. It
Mm-hmm.
can feel very orgasmic depending on how many blockages you have. And for
Mm-hmm.
some people, they have an orgasm or a full
Mm-hmm.
body orgasm. Again,
Okay.
it's not about sex. However, orgasm in a lot of cultures is a way to awaken you to your highest self through a
Absolutely.
full body orgasm, because that energy travels all the way from the base of your spine all the way up through your crown. And that is
Mm-hmm.
what we do as tantric practitioners, is help assist with that energy moving up the body.
Wow. I'm like, I need to find me a practitioner in my area. Like that sounds so amazing. Like who needs this service? Like this is for Black women, of course, but like is this better for like somebody that has experienced trauma, or maybe somebody who wants to find themselves? Like who needs to experience this sort of energy work? Who is this for?
The beautiful thing about it is everybody needs to experience this
Mm.
energy work. I
Mm-hmm.
honestly feel like I'm honored to be able to do this work, because I
Mm-hmm.
honestly feel like this work could truly change the world.
Wow.
It's one thing with Reiki, and I no disrespect to Reiki practitioners. I do Reiki myself, but Reiki is like the baby of energy work to me. And
Mm-hmm.
what I mean is, if you're new into energy work, then go and get Reiki to help balance everything out, because that's going to open you up first.
Mm-hmm.
Tantra is another level of energy work. It's opening you up to your true self, like I said. So majority of the world is living by a program. We're
Mm-hmm.
being told how we should be, how we should live our lives. We forgot who we truly are. That's why so many unhappy people in this world. That's why it is
Mm-hmm.
so many people that don't have happy relationships. And so my passion with this is to heal the Black community, specifically the Black woman, because I deep down within my heart believe that if we heal the Black woman, we heal the Black community. If we
Absolutely.
heal the mother, we heal the community. And so my passion is the Black community for this work because
Mm-hmm.
of our traumas. And not to say that our traumas are greater than anyone else's, but we know what we have been through. You know, we know that within our blood, we still have the experiences of what our ancestors went through.
Yes.
And so a lot of times, because we come off as these strong Black people, these angry Black people, it's because we're holding all this stuff in that we've been through and still surviving. And so when we can uncover those traumas and what we've experienced, we can get strong on different levels. Not strong because we have to and we're suffering, but strong because we're building our communities back up. So everyone needs this work. Everybody's experienced some form of trauma. It may not be as deep as sexual trauma, but it's deep still, because it's here within ourselves.
What can somebody expect to feel like after a session?
A lot of times people feel kind of out of it. You know, if you've ever gotten a massage before and you feel massage drunk, some people get massage drunk. It can be very similar to that feeling. It's like the feeling of still being out of it. Like, wow, you know, it's a very chill vibe. You're putting things together. You're realizing memories that have come up because, like I said, we work on that DNA. And so when a lot of times you have a Tantra session, memories of things that you've completely forgotten about or thought you forgot about come up in this session. So you're still processing those things. So a lot of times when I get down with women on the table, they're telling me, wow, I had this memory of this experience that happened. Sometimes they can be bad experiences and sometimes they're good experiences. They're like the first time you ever had an orgasm, the first time you ever really made love to a man and he actually loved you. Different things like that come up in sessions. So the mindset after is processing everything that happened. You're very calm, you're very relaxed, and you walk away floating.
How many of these sessions would you recommend? Or is it like person for person or case by case? Like, do people come in like with a mindset already like, I want to experience this, or I've been through this, so therefore I'm coming to this session with this intention? Like, is it that sort of thing, or is it just like a free flowing, like you can kind of come and go as many times as you feel needed?
Yeah, it's kind of like similar to Reiki. It's like it's kind of like coming to get a tune-up. A lot of times initially for people, we can decide on how many sessions you'll need based on how deep your pain body is. The pain body is that energy field that you created around yourself once you've experienced traumas and negativities in life. Sometimes when a client comes in, the first 1 or 2 sessions, they may not be very responsive at all because you're still dealing with their pain body. Once you can break through the pain body, then they're more responsive. They may be more orgasmic. They may be more heart happy. They may feel the energy throughout their body, but we have to break through the pain first. And so it could take 1 or 2 sessions, like I said, for people to even get to that point of being responsive. But you have to do the work. You know, you have to do the work of processing those memories when you go home and how can you work through them. So it is a continuous process. And then once you get to a certain state where you're very responsive with Tantra, then you can come back and get tune-ups. If you've been going through life and it's been tough and you want to feel refreshed and feel balanced again, then you can come back in for another session. So it's totally up to you how often you come. But initially, if you're not the most responsive in the beginning, you want to prioritize getting those sessions more regularly to get to where you want to be.
Okay. And I hear you saying responsive. Is that when the orgasm comes into play? Is that when you know when somebody is responding well to the session?
Yes, like it's an orgasmic energy that you feel that starts to come through. And when I say orgasmic, I'm saying not just sexual, for clarity for people. It's a full body sensation that you feel. It's like,
could you go into depth about that? I'm not sure if everyone will be able to understand, you know, like, I don't know, a clitoral orgasm versus a full body. Like, some people may be hung up on that. Like, oh gosh, like I'm gonna be, you know, doing all this on the table. Like, could you explain like what the full body orgasm means for everybody?
Yeah, it's basically where it's kind of hard to explain because everyone is different. But for the most part, with a full body orgasm, it's these full body tremors that you feel throughout from head to toe. It's like an opening. For me, when I experienced it, it was like an opening. It's like you're open to the world. Your heart is open to love. Your heart is open to life experiences all at once. like in that moment, even, just with a sexual orgasm, in that moment, nothing else exists. And
Yeah.
in certain scientific theories, that's when you've met God. That's when you met the God version of yourself, because in that moment, there is nothing but you in that moment. And so with the
Okay.
full body orgasm, it's a spiritual experience in that way. It's like you feel this orgasmic feeling all through your body. It's like parts of your body awaken that you didn't know could feel so energetic. Parts of your body are awakened and no longer dormant. So it's just this pleasurable feeling all throughout your body. It may not even feel sexual to some people. It's just
Okay.
it's not overwhelming, of a beautiful feeling of pleasure throughout the body.
Okay. Wow. Woo-wee. This is some good stuff. Oh my gosh. So I'm curious, like, what got you into this? Like, how did you first find out about this? What got you curious to want to become a practitioner of this sort of energy work? What started your journey?
What started my journey? Oh my gosh. When it comes to things with my career, I literally try to follow my heart, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people, and a lot of people are, or everybody is. When you don't
Uh-huh.
follow your heart, you end up miserable in what you
Yes.
do. And so, a couple of years ago, I had this random stranger when I first started to research Tantra.
Mm-hmm.
I had a random stranger pop up in my inbox, and he was like, "Do you study Tantra?" And I was like, it's not funny that you say that, because I just started researching it. And he was like, "I think you would benefit from it." And I'm
Wow.
like,
And this is a
"Okay, well,
complete
thank you for
stranger.
that." Complete stranger just jumped in my inbox from Facebook. He was a
Mm-hmm.
Facebook friend. I hadn't had any conversations with him before, and he just asked me. And
Mm-hmm.
I started to do research on it, and for whatever reason, I was intrigued by the duality of it, the fact that you're combining the masculine and the feminine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on a search for, I was going through things with healing from things that I had been through with men. And it was so appealing to me that you could find all this completion within self without looking to anybody else for it.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow I came across information about this uh, school out in Atlanta that teaches Tantra,
Okay.
and started doing research on it. And that's what led me to the journey. Originally, my little rebellious self was like, "I'm going to learn this on my own. I'm not going to go to no teacher." But then I realized how deep the energy work was. And I was
Mm.
like, "Nah, I'm going to need to get this instruction from someone to even know where to begin with it." And ever
Mm-hmm.
since I was a kid, I dreamed of being able to lay my hands on people and heal them
Mm-hmm.
energetically. And literally, I would have dreams of walking into a hospital and touching someone with cancer, and they would be healed, and I would walk away.
Mm.
And um, that's what led me to Tantra, because once I learned about the body work of it, I was like, okay, you can actually heal people from major things with this work.
Yeah.
Because once you awaken that dormant DNA within you, your body naturally begins to heal itself from
Mm-hmm.
so many things. Now, I have to be careful how I say that, because it's illegal to say what can cure what.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
However, you get the drift of what I'm saying. It's
Absolutely.
major work to be done. And I was drawn to anything that I knew could change someone's life and heal them, because I've been a healer all my life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I was 22 years old, I lost my mother to breast cancer.
Okay.
And it took me on a deep journey to healing. It took me
Mm.
on a journey to healing and moving away from the medical world, because the
Mm.
medical world told me my mother had 2 to 3 weeks to live. My mother died in 3 days. I was
Mm.
21 years old and was not ready for her to pass away.
Yeah.
People think you're an adult when you're 21. No, you're not ready for life when you're 21.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice thought, but it's not. And so she took me on a deep journey into natural healing and healing itself. And a part of me always knew that we could heal ourselves. A part of me
Absolutely.
always knew about this energy within us that could heal us from anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what took me on the journey to energy work. I found out about Reiki. And at first, I wasn't really impressed with Reiki. I'm not going to lie. I was like, okay, this is cool. But then I would start getting these women that would come in, and they would be like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." And they would just love me. And they would
Mm.
tell me how much I had changed their life. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking for something even deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Then I took
Mm-hmm.
the path to Tantra and saw what it could do for people, saw what it did for me, and how it started to bring me more into my authenticity, which is my
Mm-hmm.
purpose here, is to help people find their most authentic self. And I'm like, oh, I can add energy work, a therapeutic form of energy work, to help people come to their most authentic self.
I
So
love
that's what
it.
ultimately brought me to Tantra.
I love it. Oh my gosh. And thank you so much for sharing that personal journey. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
no problem.
Can you talk a little bit about some experiences, some feedback that maybe you've received from some African American female clients of yours that have received this level of energy work, just so other Black women that are listening can kind of hear what others have experienced?
Yes. I had a goddess come in and she got tantric energy work from me, and she was telling me, like, how I was telling you about the polarities, the masculine and feminine side of the body. The right side of the body is the masculine energy. The left side of the body is the feminine energy.
Okay.
And so I was working on one of her meridians. One of the meridians is the nipple meridian. We literally put our finger there on the meridian just to get the energy to move. And so she was telling me when I was working on her right side of her body that she had memories come up of women that had made her upset and she had unresolved issues with. And when I worked on the left side of her body, she said she had memories come up of beautiful women in her life that had helped her grow and that had truly loved her for who she was. And so we got into a deeper conversation about her relationship with her daughter, and I began to understand the dynamics of why the relationship with her daughter played out the way that it did because of her unresolved issues on the right side of her body with women.
Okay.
Which correlated to what her daughter was experiencing. So when I say this work is deep, it takes you to a place of understanding why you haven't healed certain aspects of your life and begins to give you instruction on how to heal those aspects of your life. If your masculine side of your body is overly or is imbalanced, if it's too much, you're going to experience a lot more anger, a lot more aggression, a lot more assertiveness that can come off negatively as a woman. And the problem with that is in the Black community, a lot of women, no offense, I love y'all because this is me too, we have too much masculine energy. We've been programmed to survive and raise the children by ourselves and be tougher and be stronger and handle the work as a man would because we have to. And it leaves us angry. It leaves us bitter. It leaves us exhausted because we don't have the time to operate in our feminine energy. And that's something similar to what a lot of women have been experiencing. So walking away from these sessions, there's that feeling of feeling more balanced in your feminine energy. And you realize, damn, I need to be in a situation where I don't need to work so hard because I want to be healthy in my feminine energy as well. And realizing that goddess version of you, the feminine version of you, can attract whatever you want into your life. You don't have to go out and get it. That's what the man does. That's what the masculine energy does. But your feminine energy is that balance that says, I got this. I'm a magnet for whatever I need into my life. So let me do a little bit of work to balance out that masculine, but let me sit back and watch it come to me to balance out the feminine. We don't do that.
I think so many women needed to hear that right now. Because that's truth. Yeah. You said nothing false. That is so true. That's how we've been programmed, that we gotta hold it down, you know?
I mean, if you think about it, this is another benefit of Tantra. Tantra will teach you, where did that come from? Where did that memory, where did that energy that I needed to do everything on my own come from? And for the most part, like I said before, it comes from slavery. If you think about the psychological aspect of what we've been through, the men were ripped away from their homes, taken from their families, and sold off first. The women were left to raise their children and the slave master's children. So they had all this work put upon them, unless they were chosen to be in the big house. You know what I mean? And still, even in the big house, they were doing all this work for someone that didn't really truly love them. It would create a bitterness starting from then.
Yeah.
So it's handed down to our children and generations that we're supposed to be the strong Black woman and work like a slave and not be our natural self. When if we had a man in our home, you know what I mean? He would be the main breadwinner, ideally, so that we can stay in our feminine energy. Yeah. And so the Black community definitely needs to hear this because we suffer from the bitter, angry Black woman syndrome. Yeah. And that's real. Like I said, I love every Black woman on this planet, but the reality of it is that we suffer from that syndrome. And if we don't balance it out, we won't have successful relationships. We won't have orgasms. We won't have happy children. We won't have children that understand the importance of having a father, a man and a woman in the home, because we'll be so busy pushing them away because we're so independent. We don't need anybody. We got ourselves. But does that really feel good to say, I'm independent, I don't need nobody? Or is that what we've been taught to believe for survival?
Say it again. I say that all the time. Like when I hear women say, I'm fine by myself, I don't need no man. I'm like, it sounds cute, but like really,
but
you really like
home,
being lonely,
you got that
though?
vibrator in the
So when I hear people say that, I'm like, yeah, that's not a healthy statement.
It's not. And it's beautiful to know that you can handle things on your own to a certain extent. But when it comes to a point of struggle and heaviness and trying to survive, then you take your body out of a pleasure state and your body is in survival mode. And nobody wants to live in survival mode out there. Like, I come from a family of angry women that could benefit from Tantra if they were open-minded enough to experience it.
Yeah.
But maybe one day they will.
What do you say to healers? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, you know, as a lot of women and a lot of women that are going to hear this podcast, y'all are the cycle breakers. You're listening to this for a reason. You're seeking energy work for a reason because you have cycles to break, you know, and that can be a huge responsibility, but we have to do it in order to restore our community.
I agree 100%. I am so thankful for you right now. I was going to ask you, because we also have healers that listen as well. And for some healers listening, this may be the first time they've ever heard about Tantra Energy. And I'm sure they're probably really intrigued right now. Like, oh my gosh, like I want to learn this. I want to take my healing practices to another level. Where would they start? Where would the healers start?
You mean as far as like going to seek out training for this work?
Like, are there many Black practitioners offering like training courses in this?
Whew. See, now that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. It's really not a lot right now. We will grow. I'm passionate about this. I definitely look forward to being someone that will be training people in the future. The biggest school as of right now is the one in Atlanta called Grand Trine. Now, the beauty of it is that they do have options for online classes.
You said it's called Grand Trine?
Grand Trine.
Grand Trine.
Trine.
Got it. Okay.
This is international. And the teacher is a very powerful man, very knowledgeable, and very passionate about this work. That's one of the biggest and most popular schools in the state for information, and that's my best source as of right now. He's graduated a lot of students. A lot of people are out here doing the work, especially in Atlanta. So that's going to be the best source. Like I said, he does offer a lot of online classes. It would obviously benefit you to be there in person at times, but it's an option. It's online for sure for some people that don't live in the state of Georgia.
Got it. Wow, Nia, thank you so much for this conversation. Oh my gosh, I know a lot of women out there just really got their lives right now. I'm just so grateful to hear you talk about the deeper level of work, because I'm a mental health therapist and I always tell my clients, you gotta heal your energy. Like, it's okay to come to therapy weekly and bi-weekly and, you know, engage in talk therapy and couples and family counseling. Like, that's great. But you also then need to energetically heal everything that you just verbally processed in your session. So I'm sure a lot of listeners may be in therapy right now and may be able to attest to, yeah, she's right. I have been talking about a lot of trauma that has gone on in my life and maybe been, you know, doing some CBT work and things like that. But still in my body, energetically, I don't feel healed. So I'm hoping in those listeners will go out and really, really, really try to heal themselves energetically, because it's a big thing.
Yes.
So I'm just so, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's definitely a must to get to the energetic level.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Nia, I am so grateful for you guys, for you. Everybody, please make sure you go and follow Nia and check out her website and see all of the great work that she is doing. Thank you so much for this conversation. I really appreciate it. And guys, make sure you also check out her podcast as well. I'll leave a link in all the descriptions and information for you to follow her and check her out. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us this week on the Afro Chi podcast. Be sure to visit our website at afroqi.com and on all social media platforms at the AfroQI. Subscribe to this podcast now so you never miss a show.